I'm in the right room this time. There we go.
Sure,
It's working, I think. Yeah, there we go. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new stream for 2024. This is going to be a review of 2023 Elgato, what they bought out last year, and what have you bought. And James has done like a list. He's done our plan for tonight. He's done it better than me. Right. We've got a brand new person in, Ray. So
what's up, guys?
Yourself, Ray?
What's up, homies? My name's Ray. I'm from This Is Ray Gaming. Big fan of Elgato. Maybe one day future partner. We'll see how that goes. But stoked to be here with you guys. Stoked to talk with some cool people about some cool products, man, and really see kind of where the future's going. And already in the pre-show, I'm learning we got some pretty sweet Elgato connections going on here already. So, you guys shouldn't let me know that. I'm gonna be like ringing your door down, like trying to figure out how to learn a couple things here and there. So we're really excited, man. Glad to be here. Glad to be a part of making some cool content. Even though I am the only American representative of the show tonight. I just want to say to everyone, greetings from South Florida, where it is sunshine. Very cold in South Florida right now. It's 65 degrees. We are suffering through the winter. It's brutal. But we're really excited to be here with you guys. Thanks for having me.
It's all good. I appreciate you joining. Villa, Tom.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Third time on here. Thank you for having me. Yeah, so I'm a UK variety streamer. I'm also trying to get my name out there on YouTube as well. So creating loads of content on there. I have Elgato products, so I can talk about them. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Good. And none other than the legend that is James Icon City.
I don't know about that. I'm the oldest person here. Do I get called a legend?
Trying to be nice.
The guru.
I don't know, James. I might be sneaky older than you think I am. We'll see.
Mate, this great. It's telltale. Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm James from iconcity.com, and I make Stream Deck icons for Elgato and for myself. So I'm on the marketplace, and I'm sort of just a massive Elgato fan, really. And yeah, we're working on some good projects together at the moment. So we'll hopefully see some fruit of that soon. But yeah, I live and breathe Elgato. That's me.
So, shall we jump straight into it then? So, review of 2023 last year with Elgato. What do you think of the products that came out? The prompter, the Stream Deck Plus, amazing.
Facecam Pro, right? I mean,
Facecam Pro.
I mean, let's face it. That for me, that was like when I was lucky. They gave me the original sort of face. I was never a big fan of being actually on camera. And that sounds probably bizarre, but I was never a big fan of actually being on the screen. And I never really was a streamer either. I think I liked the idea of streaming, but didn't like the idea of just streaming to myself because that's what it would have been.
Felt.
Yeah,
felt all the way.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. So I was never really interested in the camera, and I think I ended up doing a stream, a sort of a podcast or something, and the guys at Elgato said, "Hey, we think you could do an upgrade," and they kindly sent me the original face cam, and I remember just thinking, "Wow, this is like amazing," and lo and behold, I loved it and used it a lot, and then suddenly the teleprompter came out, and I just found that once you had the teleprompter. Obviously, they've got all the settings at the back to hold SLRs and all that kind of stuff. Oh, no. Have I gone? Is it still working?
Oh, we're here. We got
okay, cool. It's all right. So the teleprompter kind of lends itself to the Facecam Pro due to the little cutout it has, and it slides in so beautifully. And I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to go out of them and just buy this thing and just get on with it. And I tell you what, I've not looked back since. The Facecam Pro for me has been a real kind of wow moment for Elgato. I think it's absolutely fabulous. As good as the Facecam Pro is, I think the prompter match with the Facecam Pro is such a match made in heaven. Absolutely incredible device.
Yeah, man, that prompter looks amazing, doesn't it?
It's fab.
Yeah,
I'm so surprised that there hasn't been one before.
Yeah.
I was telling James in the pre-show, I mean, and the thing for me, I mean, for sure, we're all content creators, and whether it's podcasting or gaming content or going live or whatever it is that we're doing, For me, I had a little bit of a different point of view because I do production, like television production and live shoots, like for a living beyond just like what I'm doing for gaming and streaming. And so I work with clients all over the country here in the States and am constantly on the road. So for me, products like that prompter that are easily travelable are humongous for me. Because if I'm going to go, if I'm flying from Florida up to New York to do a shoot with somebody and they need to be prompted, I mean, that's like bags on bags on bags going airplanes. The glass is super fragile. Like it's impossible to travel with like typical teleprompters. So for me, I use Stream Decks in live production environments. I use Prompter in live production environments. I've got the opportunity. I haven't been able to get my hands on one yet because they're sold out over here, like everywhere, and they're impossible to find. But I can't wait. As soon as I can put one in my travel bag, it's coming, man. It's gonna be awesome.
It's not that big, is it? Yeah.
It's. I don't know the exact measurements, but it's much more travelable than a typical teleprompter, which the glass alone is larger than an iPad on a typical teleprompter, like a large size iPad.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like if I'm looking at it's like the base, if you like, is probably that long to that long. Is that long to about that long? So
yeah.
So the actual width, and then the sort of the depth is kind of like from there to there.
Yeah.
Which is incredible, really.
We're gonna call this unit of measurement iPhone squared.
iPhone squared, yeah. It's kind of like,
there you go. Yeah.
Well, I could shock you all and get with tape, mate. Oh no, it's not, I can't find it. That's a bad bit of planning for me, isn't it? Never mind.
The
Elgato tape measure.
Yeah. Oh, we can't talk about that. Unreleased product.
Unreleased, in the works, patent pending, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think it's so funny. Like again, like so many times I think people pigeonhole Elgato products into like the streaming and gaming world. I almost every broadcast room that I walk into across the country has a Stream Deck in there somewhere. I mean, literally, you've got $500,000 television broadcast switching boards with a Stream Deck right next to it. You know what I mean? Because people are hotkeying and shortcutting, and it's just the software being as open source as it is, it really lends itself to people doing all kinds of crazy stuff with it. So the more products they come out with, the better. I mean, honestly, I got a client of mine in Tennessee who just retrofitted his basement into a podcast studio. And we literally pulled the drop ceiling out and hung key lights from the ceiling and then ran USB extensions to his deck on his control center. And he's got full lighting control for less than $500. I mean, it's just like the uses in actual broadcasts and production for this are really untapped, and people just think like, oh man, I can get a light and I can put on my desk and play video games. It's so much bigger than that. And so the stuff they keep coming out with, man, like it's impacting me professionally, not just in my hobby.
I mean, that's when you look at the Wave XLR, when that came out, everybody was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Can it really sound that good? Can it really be that good for the money? And when people trying it, and I think we're probably all using it. I think probably less than Tom.
Not me. Not me.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I've just got one of these things on, so it just looks different.
Yeah, for me, that again, just like, oh my God, when you hear it in your own headphones for the first time, you're kind of like, it's warm, it's got depth, it's got feel to it, and again, people just going, it's that thing about the purists of when it comes to sound and audio, they're kind of like, oh, unless it's 400 quid, we're not interested.
Yeah.
But what it's doing is it's giving people who, like us guys who aren't really professional, well, sorry, I'll say me, aren't really professional, and do this kind of like podcasting on the side, really, and I think it more than fulfills its role. 100% it does.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not going. I mean, I'm using a $400 SM7B to talk to you guys right now, and your mics don't sound too much different. So even if you're looking at a price point for people that are trying to get involved in this sort of thing, the easy route is like, oh, go get yourself a Go XLR, go get yourself a SM7, go get all these things. But the reality of it is, you blink and you're at $1,200 US for that kind of stuff. Whereas the Wavelength, for the money, I mean, you're in the same arena. You're close. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I worked for Bose for a period of time, and I met all those people in that job. And you start working for companies like that, where audio is king. Well, some say Bose is rubbish, but they go, who knows? But you meet those people, and they won't be told any different.
Yeah.
It's almost like a bragging right, really, which is a shame, because I think the more people that use this will understand that actually, like I said, it more than fulfills its role. You're not hearing that beeping, though.
No, I don't hear it. I think your noise suppression's enough that I don't have to hear.
Okay, it's all right. My prompter's not liking. Sorry, that's why I keep moving this because my prompter keeps throwing the window out. I don't know why. Ah, dear, software update probably.
See, I'm liking the Facecam Pro, but I've been waiting for a prompter.
You've been waiting a while, though, haven't you? I mean, I thought
Yeah.
you were like me, like poised when it came to the UK market.
Yeah.
I mean,
Get it?
I think it was about 2:00 in the afternoon it went live, and it's just like,
Possibly.
oh my god! It was something like that because
Yeah.
obviously I've got 2 children, so it wasn't obviously when I was at school, but I remember thinking, God, I might be able to get that at the minute it sort of lands, and I'm sure it was like 2 p.m., which is obviously Eastern time. It's kind of like 9 a.m., isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it kind of launched something like that.
Well, it launched and it was gone over here.
Yeah.
I say, did I see something somewhere that like next week they're going to restock it or something?
I saw, some of the Elgato
Something like
guys
that.
were tweeting about the fact that there's a restock coming. So
Yeah, Julian Fest had mentioned it.
Fingers
to you
crossed.
guys, right?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. As soon as I saw it, I messaged Kate, my partnership manager, and said, "Can you put my name down?" And I've been waiting for it.
Yeah.
And because of the stock levels,
Yeah.
can't get it. So
I see Julian had said to one of his guys, I think he's in charge of sort of the whole thing, was said, ask people what they think of it. And the guy actually said, what do you think of your Elgato prompter, whoever's got it? And I just put, well, just make it white and it'd be perfect.
So you haven't spray painted yours yet. You haven't taken it out back and spray painted it yet.
Well, the mini stand is that it's sitting on it is spray painted white. And I tell you what, it's superb.
you probably didn't see my reply though.
Oh,
you
I did.
You can make it. Did you see it?
Yeah. All right, Gaz, I'll put your name on it. It's all good. Unless you get it.
I'll get it. I can have a second one.
Well, I mean, true story. When I actually did look at, I did actually look at spraying it white, but the intricacies of it is pretty tight. Obviously, you've got that big screen at the bottom there that you have to mask off really, really well, and then of course you've got this really mirrored surface here that you have to obviously take the whole thing apart. And you don't want to see me with a hammer. I'll tell you that much for sure. So I'm
trying to figure out which part of that needs a hammer. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well,
it's spray painted with a hammer.
There you go. I mean, say no more. That's where my DIY skills definitely land. If in doubt, use the hammer.
But I will say the next podcast though, that mic needs to be white.
This.
Yes. Next podcast.
White. Once again, I'd seen somebody take this apart, and I think they counted 38 screws in here. That's 38. A lot, right? Yeah, this top ring on the XLR, this actually just prizes off. So this is just a little bit of glue holding this little ring here. So you could easily spray that white, and obviously anything below the sort of microphone holes, white as well. But actually, I was talking to one of the guys from Elgato. Jared, his name, he's a lovely guy. He's part of the marketplace, and he just said, "I just love the aesthetic of the white with the black." And I think he's absolutely right now. Looking at, I'm glad I didn't sort of jump to, go into a local car spray shop and buy some spray paint and do it. So actually, I've got used to it, and I think I like it. I think too much white. I think my friend said it's starting to look like a dentist. You're off. It's starting to look like a dentist. It really upset me, so I stopped.
You just need the white penny, don't you?
So what? Sorry.
You just need that white. What they call them? Not pennies. The
overcoats, like the smock.
Oh yeah.
Oh, a lab coat.
Yeah, a lab coat. I mean, you could get a white sock for it, couldn't you? Maybe.
There you go. Like a skin. There you go. New product. Pitch this to Elgato. The microphone skins.
I'm starting to like question my choice of getting a white. I've got a white custom made mouse mat. I'm starting to. Well, that wasn't a good idea. Don't get a white mouse mat ever.
Yeah. You'd be washing that joker every other day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
You just wash it all the time.
I won't be showing a photograph that online now unless I buy a new one.
It's funny.
It's like I've got an Elgato one, the blue one.
No, I've got one that covers the whole desk because it covers obviously where my Streamlabs are, and it's kind of like I forget who made it, but they do custom ones, and they're an incredible company. And they must have thought that's funny. I only want a little icon sitting in the bottom right-hand corner in black, so it's kind of silhouetted. So the rest of it is white, and they've only had to print a little icon sitting in the bottom right-hand corner. Yeah. And they're probably laughing, going, "God, he's paid just to have that black thing."
That's funny.
In hindsight, I'll probably paint the bottom part black and leave the top white.
Yeah, there you go.
You live and learn, right?
That's funny.
So I'll take it. The favorite, the next thing is the favorite product from Elgato from last year's. Got to be either the Facecam Pro or the prompter.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I love my Stream Deck Plus.
Yeah.
I mean that was. I mean, it's something as simple as those knobs. Again, for like a total production nerd who's always trying to dial in. Oh, look, yeah, Tom joined. Tom joined what? December he joined the Deck Club,
Yeah.
the Deck Plus Club.
Beautiful thing.
But being
Just
able
changed
to
my
use
life.
that, to be able to use those knobs with the key lights that I use and dial in the color temperature and the brightness, just real, especially because you can go in the settings in the software and change it from 5 points to 1 point or whatever. Being on 1 point and really being able to dial each click of the knob, man, it's made a huge difference. Again, like I said, I got clients that I'm doing installs in their production spaces, and we're using Deck Pluses and key lights so that they can get it dialed in where they need it to be.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, a dial is just like it's just another point of contact, isn't it? That you've got with the device now. You've got the LCD that you can swipe left and right. You've got those big buttons. And again, I was talking to somebody about this the other day that the buttons on the Stream Deck Plus are bigger than the 15 and the 32 buttons. They might not look it, but they certainly are. And the definition of those buttons as well is greatly increased. It's got more DPI. Now, obviously, Elgato don't mention that the buttons are that different. But for somebody like me who's designing icons for these things, I can tell you now the Stream Deck Plus buttons are beautiful. There's just, I wish there was more of them because we were the limit. I know we've got pages and pages. I know that, but but on the face of it, if this was a 15 key Stream Deck with those buttons on the Stream Deck Plus, oh my God, I think you've got a hell of a product there. And I think it would take you to, see it side by side with the 15 or the 32, because the Stream Deck Plus does look amazing.
I literally have my Plus and my XL next to each other, and I'm like trying to I'm like putting my thumb up against the buttons right now, like trying to see,
yeah. I mean, it's quite interesting because they didn't market that the buttons were bigger and brighter and the DPI was bigger, but oh my God, they are. My artwork looks incredible, and I really mean that. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
And then when you spend so long, like I did, looking at my Stream Deck Plus for such a long time, and I went back to the 15, I was like, oh my God, there is like the definition in DPI is definitely higher. I mean, obviously, I don't know what it is because I make the icons 200 by 200 pixels across.
Yeah.
And they seem to fit everything I put them on. But there's something about the sharpness of the Stream Deck Plus which is just stunning. Absolutely brilliant. Love it.
Are you
Just
getting
need
on
more
with
of them.
yours, Tom?
I love it. Like you said, with the customization as well.
Yeah.
It's just so cool. You could just literally do almost anything with it. It's There's obviously millions of stuff that I haven't even thought about yet, but the stuff that I have thought about, I've kind of gone, oh my God. Yeah.
You can use it for literally anything.
Yeah.
Photoshop, Premiere Pro. The list goes on. I don't think I've actually touched half of what this can do yet. It's crazy.
I don't know that very many of us have, to be completely honest with you. I mean, there's constantly new white papers coming out and new things like, oh, have you seen, we've got official Adobe support now. Like you just said, Photoshop and Premiere Pro. Did you see this? Did you see that? And where's it going to fit and how does it function? So again, for creatives, man, that these are not just gamer toys. These are creator tools, and it's killer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just being like I said, obviously use Adobe Illustrator and being able just to twist the knob, just to change the pen size and things like that. The paintbrush and that it is incredible, and almost your hands almost poised over it while you're actually using it. So you're absolutely right. As a creative tool, it's pretty impressive, really. It's pretty impressive where we are with it, and with the with the Elgato market still growing as it is. We're going to see so much. In fact, I was talking to Ray, let's say, before we went live, and I was just saying to him that I think if you remember when we look back at the iPhone when it got released, and then the App Store came out, the App Store made the iPhone. It made it. It was just. I mean, the iPhone was cool, but the App Store made the device, and I think that's where we are with the marketplace. Is that if you've not been there or you've not been there yet, definitely update your software to Stream Deck and jump on the marketplace because you'll be blown away what's on there already. And there's a guy called Barraider, 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 and he basically makes it even more functional. So things like moving your mouse to the right and hold down C, that becomes the keybind. So it actually incorporates actually using your mouse with keys.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, it's incredible. And all those plugins, I think, are free as well. So if you think you're limited by just having keybinds using the keyboard, absolutely not. You can actually start. And also, Ray, I don't know if you know this, but you, with one of the bar radar plugins, you can actually also tell it to give the mouse coordinates of the screen as well. So the mouse jumps to a coordinate on the screen.
Wow.
So if you think about somebody who's using this for QuickBooks in sort of accounting, things like that, where you have to go date, time. In fact, Tom, you know about this, right? Tom knows about it. Kind of like, you know, when you go through forms like this and you move, your mouse is moving. Well, basically, you can actually tell put your cursor
It's just jumping from cell to cell.
Tell Bar Raider that that's the cursor, that's the coordinate, and it's just jump, boom, 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 boom.
Huh?
Mate, it's incredible, honestly.
It's mad.
Yeah, it really is. And like I said, Marketplace has only been going for a short time, so we're going to see some incredible stuff. I can honestly tell you, it's big. It's big.
You can get some icon packs on there, can't you?
Hey, so if you want some games, I mean,
do you know anyone?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, I designed obviously a big Apple fanboy, so I did Final Cut 10 for the as an icon pack, and of course Motion 5, which is their After Effects version of that software, and it just lends itself to it. There's, as you know, so many shortcuts in production. Anything that can speed it up, you know. Absolutely, you know, you look at these icons all day, every day as part of your job. You want them to make them as, hopefully, as pretty and as functional as you can, and that's what I kind of, you know, that's what I enjoy doing, and luckily that's now my job. So yeah, absolutely, it's a creator tool. 100%.
I loved it. When you sent me that Football Manager thing, I didn't even think about that, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" You got the buttons, you got the icons for the Football Manager. You can just do everything there on the.
Yeah, it's a funny thing, you know. People, you know, start to basically give you the ideas, and I love that. I mean, the Football Manager came from a guy on our Discord and was like, "God, can I use my Stream Deck for Football Manager?" And anybody knows me, I'm not a big football fan at all. And it was a bit like, anyway, yeah, we got it up and running, and it works perfectly, and the colors match. And you know, you can jump to page, blow the whistle, and all that kind of stuff that you can do for Manager. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. And like I said, the device again lends itself to gaming, which I know Elgato. I don't know whether they knew that's what was going to happen to it or what was going to come from it, but you know, I was lucky to get in there early on and obviously build the library that we've got. I mean, you know, not to blame me on Trumpet, we're about to reach nearly 100 icon packs, which are pretty much 95% games. I'm trying to get the productivity side up with Figma and Notion and things in Final Cut, but I think the game side is really growing, and it's showing again that a lot of people do have it, which is just incredible. Sorry, I'm just conscious I'm talking lots.
That's all right.
Go for it. I don't mind.
Sorry, guys.
You've got the knowledge.
Well, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, you know, it's living and breathing, isn't it? But the products are just so incredible that, you know, I'm hopefully enabling more people to do what they love, ultimately. That's what I hope.
So if you want to check out the icon packs, go to iconcity.com. Go and check them out. Right. Next, we've got the Facecam Pro, the teleprompter, and the Stream Deck Plus. Can they beat it this year? Can they beat them?
With what?
I don't know. I mean, but they do this. Like Elgato does this though. Like you think that they've like reached the pinnacle of the market, right? And then it's like, oh, here's a foot pedal, and it's like on the surface, like I was the guy that was like, okay, cool, great. There's a foot pedal. I could not live live without my foot pedal now. Like I'm using it to clip footage. I'm using it to Discord mute. I'm using it to change. I mean, like whatever the things are. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. So I got a good friend of mine, one of our gamer buddies, who was born and went through like dealing with meningitis. And he's only got one arm. Yeah, there you go. There's the foot pedal. So he tries the game like one-handed, you know. And so we were literally just a couple of weeks ago. He's talking about getting to PC gaming and switching from console. And it's like, brother, if you run 2 foot pedals for Elgato, you can move with your good arm and you can literally shoot with your foot pedals. And like, so like even like those options to have game accessibility for people that don't have fully function. I mean, like you wouldn't think that that's what it's like being created for, but they're so open-ended that it becomes a product solution for things that you don't even expect to be a product solution for. I mean, legitimately, not to like make light of it, but who would have thought that you could say as a solution, hey, if you get 2 Elgato foot pedals, that's the same amount of buttons you would have on the right side of your controller. If you've only got one arm, you can now play. Like that's crazy to me to even think about it that way, you know? So my point is, who thought that the foot pedal was going to be a game changer? And it was. For all I know, there's going to be like a 1-button Stream Deck that comes out and it's going to change everything. You know?
That's interesting about the foot pedal. It's not a device I initially thought I want. I saw it and thought, that's interesting. And I didn't like poo-poo it, but I didn't think like that's a direction
I didn't think I'd ever have one. I never thought I was going to buy one.
It's cool. I should be getting mine on Wednesday. There you go.
I'm telling you, it seems so simple. But here's the thing to me about it. It integrates with your Stream Deck software, literally plug and play. Like you plug it in and it shows the foot pedal and it's like, what do you want to map these 3 buttons to? Like what? And it's instant, like instantaneous, no updates required, plug and play. I mean, and again, for me, what triggered it for me, I was like, man, like I'm playing Call of Duty and it's really sweaty. And so like you got, if you're playing mouse and keyboard on Call of Duty, to take your hand off the mouse isn't always great. You know what I mean? But if there's some sort of a reason that I need to like mute my Discord or clip a play or whatever like that, like just being able to do it with my feet real quick, it's changed everything.
Is it all like, is it muscle memory now? You just literally,
I didn't think about it
so long. Yeah.
I didn't even think about it.
I mean, it's not like they were first to the market with it. I remember again something with Discord mentioning that when it got released, they were like, "Oh, well, you can buy buy this thing on Amazon," and they're like, they look like controls from an old Atari computer game. They look that kind of orangey looking things, and I was like, "Huh." But then I thought, well, look what Elgato have done. It's so beautiful. And also what surprised me was the actual size of it. Because I think I had to imagine it being like this big sort of like welcome mat you have at the front of your house, like a welcome mat. And actually I was like, oh my God, I mean, again, I'm not physically. And here's another thing is I think it's a hard thing to kind of project to people is kind of what this stuff actually like, because you can't go into certainly not here in the UK that I know of, to go into an electronics store and pick these things up. So when they get delivered, that's kind of like probably the first time you've seen it. And I would 100% say, for me personally, that's how I've learned about Elgato, by actually having it delivered to my house and then hopefully, taking out the box and going, oh, this is really cool. And I think I'll probably feel the same when the pedal turns up, because right now I don't know the size. I've got an idea, but I'll no doubt be more surprised. And I think obviously you've got Amazon for a 30-day sort of.
It's about the same width as like a 60 or 65% keyboard. It's about that wide.
Oh, really? That's interesting. What's that in iPhone, though? Because I only go by iPhone.
Like 2.5 wide. Like 2.5 iPhones wide.
This is the 13 Pro Max.
All right, like
oh, okay.
1.5 wide.
There you go.
Okay. Sorry, I'm having a look to my right now because.
Well, maybe it's so maybe closer to 60%.
Word. That's actually so. Sorry, Gaz. Yeah, that's perfect. That is small, isn't it?
It's great though, but it's so defined. Like even if you're not looking at it, you can kind of feel with your feet. Like right now, I'm feeling which buttons are where with my left foot, and like you'd never know it if you're on camera, And then even there, so like here's the thing to me. Again, I got to get this teleprompter, because for me to be able to set a teleprompter with the foot pedal that like the outside's left like is up, the insides, and like to move the prompter while I'm talking and stuff, that's huge. And then if I want to pause like where my scroll is, like to make a point and then keep my copy going, man, that's a big deal.
Yeah, well, I think like you said, I mean, I do play a lot of Call of Duty if I'm kind of stressed and I need to kind of unwind a bit.
That's not the game to unwind with. That's the game to get stressed with.
Hey, do you know what? No, for me, it's the opposite.
No, honestly, I agree.
Swear to God,
James and his 40 bombs, yeah.
Shoot.
Just something about shooting people in the face that makes me calm right down.
Makes me calm. That's a bad admission, isn't it? But I think initially when the idea of getting the pedal was there, actually you're right, because I think I changed my keybind to V for push to talk.
Yep.
and I still find myself jabbing C all the time. Going,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
I'm such
So
an
you can foot
amateur at
pedal
this.
push to talk the whole time. Yeah, it's
and
great.
do you know what? God help anybody who comes online with me next. It's gonna be like this guy doesn't shut up, right? This
Yeah.
guy's not shut up. Mute.
Yeah, it's funny. That's funny.
But there you go.
Yeah, so I think to go back to your point, guys, like, what are they going to do this year? I don't know, but like, they've not missed very much. I mean, because again, even something simple like that foot pedal was like such an under the radar. Oh, look what we did. Here it is. But the integration of the software was so flawless. I mean, it was great.
I mean, everybody was taking the mick out of that foot pedal, and everybody now has ended up wanting to have one in their setup.
Mhm.
It's surprising. I mean, I've seen people use it for COD. You know, like one button to reload, one button to shoot, and then use the mace to move around. And
Mhm.
I wouldn't do that. I'm
No.
just too used to doing that.
I mean, it's that
But-
thing. Is if you could draw your, the next accessory, what would it look like? But you're right. I mean, even the teleprompter when that was
Came out of nowhere.
came out of nowhere, and there was kind of this photograph at some sort of was it a games event somewhere, and
Oh,
somebody
TwitchCon,
take
was it?
Yes, TwitchCon.
TwitchCon.
It came out of
And
TwitchCon.
and somebody take the photograph of the top hood of it. And
Yeah.
like, no, surely not. That's not a thing, surely. And then lo and behold, it just got smashed out the back door. It was just incredible, really. What I think to launch. I mean, that was the last thing that launched last year, wasn't it? That was the last.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
product
late in the
to come
year. It's
out.
like fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it does kind of like make you wonder, whether. I mean, there's a lot of things that were shown this year. A lot of companies actually copying Elgato this year.
100%.
In fact, Julian Fest, who's the senior VP for Corsair and Elgato, actually said on Twitter, that we're going to see a lot of clones this year because Elgato built this audience up now of these amazing peripherals, and actually we're going to see a lot of people copying it. And I think it's seen quite a few prototypes of what these other companies were doing. And of course, we know Logitech now owns Loop Deck as well.
Yep.
And I think they've got a card to play this year. I think we've not seen it yet, but I think that something's going to be interesting. And here's the thing. I got sent this. You seen this?
Oh wow.
So this is a company called Mountain who do this, and obviously you can have it kind of either way, and it's got the same sort of buttons that kind of Elgato got.
Yeah.
I've not plugged it in yet, but it comes kind of. Sorry, I'm swinging around. It comes with this kind of sort of hard base, and it kind of clicks in here. That's it. So it kind of sits on your desk. So it's quite weighty. You can see that from there. But I've not plugged it in yet. Because I'm an Elgato fanboy, right? But it's just interesting that they sent me this kind of like out of the blue. In fact, they sent me the kind of two to try out. So I probably will give it some a look over. But I don't think this is this isn't where it needs to go. I don't think this is it. It's interesting that they come up with this idea. And it's incredibly light, this part of it. So it's interesting that these companies obviously have seen what I do and have sent that to me. But we're going to see a lot more of it. I think. Did anybody see the people who make the fans? I forgot what their name is. Is it Chill? Somebody Chill? I did post it on my Twitter, and basically they got a stack system. So it's kind of like it was kind of like the sliders at the bottom, dials, and then a complete deck that you could click and go through, and then you could actually move them around, so stacked on top of each other. So it's kind of like a modular design, which is very interesting. And the idea of having a slider on the Stream Deck, again, I'm not sure whether that's a good or bad thing. I mean, what do you think of a slider on the Stream Deck, Ray? What do you think about that?
I would love it. Like I'll be honest with you. So like
cool.
again, like as a podcaster, as a production guy, and I'll say a cuss word on the show real quick. I run Go XLR for my audio. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that as a live audio technician, I'm so used to those faders and things. It's interesting to me in the market right now to see companies like Mackie being purchased by Rode. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys saw that. Everyone's been talking about the Rodecaster. About midway through last year, Mackie, who is a professional audio soundboard company, announced that they were putting out their version of the Rodecaster. And then like in November, Rode bought them. Like Rode bought Mackie.
Wow.
And so in this, again, multi-purpose peripheral world that really I think Elgato is super responsible for. Like I think Elgato is responsible for the most of it. I'd love to see them be a player. I'm really interested to see what they're doing, how they've made the Deck Plus link up with the Wave hardware. You know what I mean? Like the little Wave knob, whatever. But I'd love to see Elgato swing it like a true roadcaster, podcaster soundboard with dials and faders and all that kind of stuff. Because the thing I know about Elgato is it's also customizable. You know what I mean? Like I would go to war for Elgato's version of a Go XLR. You know what I mean? Like I would love to see with kind of that similar layout. And I know that Elgato is really sleek and makes smaller devices. I would love to see them get into like become more of a player in audio. Now on the one hand, hey, you get two pluses and the Wave in the middle of it. You can kind of like set up. You could kind of get some of that. But I'd really love to see like a fully customizable podcast recording piece of hardware that doubles as gaming and all that kind of stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I probably think we're probably on that road now, aren't we? Where that expectation, obviously, everything they do is kind of like a learn for them, isn't it? Like, are you guys liking this? Is this okay?
Yeah.
Again, when we spoke off air just before this, that the Stream Deck Plus didn't seem to go out of stock.
Yeah.
At all. So obviously, they made enough for demand. I don't think the Stream Deck Plus has gone out of stock since it got released. I don't think so.
It was not tough for me to find.
Yeah, so
I think that I bought mine within 30 to 45 days of it coming out. I didn't have it like on day one, but I had it quick.
Yeah, and of course, I think it wasn't a straight copy of a Loop Deck because obviously Loop Deck has or did have the knobs on the side, and it was a touchscreen interface. It wasn't a full-on button. So actually, adding that kind of LCD strip that you could swipe backwards and forwards was the really kind of that was innovative. So I'm wondering whether that's something they want to be aware of. They just don't want to copy something else. They want to bring some innovation there and make it worthwhile. You know, it's really, I think it's really interesting. Tom, what? Obviously, you've got your Stream Deck Plus now. What if you had to buy another product? What would you buy? What would be your next Elgato, or what is on the list?
Don't tell me. I reckon a camera.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Is it? Is that camera?
You know what? It's even more obvious now with you guys. Look at you guys and then look at me. That's like, it's even more obvious now. Yeah, but that it would be that. Yeah, it would be that.
It'd be the camera.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah. It's that things that camera and sound go kind of hand in hand, though, don't they? Really, it's kind of like, it's you just got to do both, mate. That's it.
Yeah, and lighting. Like honestly, like people don't understand this. Lighting is so much more important than even the camera that you use.
Hey.
Exactly.
In a production environment, and so if you're lit well, now obviously, the cameras carry their weight for sure. But step one is to make sure you got balanced lighting and backlighting is all that where you want to set that, and then it'll take even right now, like the Elgato, the Facecam Pro, not even the 4K, like the standard Pro, if you're lit well, it goes toe to toe with a lot. I mean, like it goes toe to toe with a whole lot, and so it's cool, man.
So you're talking about what you expect. Maybe not this year, but do you ever see Elgato eventually making a mobile phone?
No.
No.
Do you not think?
I think the prop is a really good example of kind of what they're thinking.
Yeah.
That like you said, I'm sure Ray would agree that it's more of production. It's production. I think
they've got a market there that's untapped.
Yeah, I mean, you've got people like Samsung in the mobile game, and obviously iPhone, still kicking it around. There's lots of innovation coming up with foldables, and that's still it's kind of there, but it isn't
nichey.
It's still kind of. So, is there any way that they could grow that and have the reach that they've got? No, I still think they're still. I don't think they're a big enough company to do that just yet. I think they're still growing. Obviously, the headquarters is in Munich in Germany. And obviously got lots of remote American workers and things like that. And I think with Marketplace, a lot of money is going to come into that company now via that stream that they wasn't aware of before. And I think that's where Apple grew substantially when the App Store was part of their ecosystem. It just blew them up to $1 trillion company. And I think Elgato are going to be there. They're going to be there. But I think the prompter for me is a real kind of like, if you're holding a road sign up, it's kind of like we want to be your go-to for everything production.
Yeah, and that's kind of what signals it to me too. I mean, because realistically, what Elgato has done with the release of the teleprompter, is they've made gamers aware of what a teleprompter is.
Yeah,
gamers and local podcasters and content creators. I promise you, before TwitchCon, no one they don't know what teleprompter is. You hear the word teleprompter, you don't realize that it's attached to a camera. I mean, unless you've been in a TV studio or a production environment, very, very, very few people understand that kind of language. You know what I mean? It's like saying like, hey, go grab me a stinger. Like they're not gonna they just don't know what that kind of stuff is. But what they've done is they took the Apple kind of approach to it and they've dumbed it down so it's so simple and easy to understand. And they've put it in an ecosystem that people have already learned. And so now teleprompter, I've locked my camera up because I'm on an Apple machine. You'll have to forgive my Apple that thinks my hand gestures are my Mac trying to hand gesture whatever.
It's celebrating,
But the point that I'm making is teleprompter has become like a household word against like in the gaming, podcasting, content creation community. And I mean, even right now, he's not flexing on us, but James is looking directly in our face because his monitor right now is a teleprompter. You know what I mean? For me, I'm looking off to the side trying to see where my camera, like what you guys are talking about versus when I'm addressing my camera. So on that level, it's thing number one. On the opportunity to if he wanted to, he could have script and talking points laid right over our faces right now. That's a game changer. I'd like to see a bigger one, but I love the travelability of the size they have right now too.
It's that kind of thing, is it? That sort of market price point as well, you know, because obviously you've got a big color screen there. You know, it's a big LCD screen, which you're going to sort of mention early on. It's a big screen that's just reflecting. I mean, the technology is quite simple, really, in the way it's kind of done, but it's done so well, which is what gets me. It's a big device. I think it's a big device to suddenly put on your desk. And when I was laying out, I was actually refitting my office at the time, and my idea was that this would go there and that would go there and this and that. But it uses a lot of data. So the 2 meter sort of cable is probably the max it can do. I mean,
really,
I've had a lot of trouble trying to get it because I wanted this to be over there. And I've been forced because my PC is kind of sitting directly under this. And I was getting lots of chimes, you know, that kind of that beep you get from Windows, which kind of disconnect.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing that right now, actually, and I can't believe you can't hear it. And so my teleprompter's kind of flicking on and off. So maybe I need to reset my machine. But there's a lot of data issues that obviously because it's running the Facecam Pro, and of course it's running that. So your USBs are really taking a hit. Sort of bit rate wise, and of course I've got quite a few Stream Decks plugged in, so that's probably not helping either. I've run out of USB ports, just like you guys. I'm running out.
It's like Spaghetti Junction down here with a USB port.
Yeah, it's kind of like yes, that's something to be mindful of. I'm not sure whether anybody's got it running. Obviously, I've got a powered USB hub, but of course that powered USB hub's has got a USB cable on the back of that, which plugs to the back of your machine as well. So is that where the
that could be where the breakdown is. Yeah, the voltage breakdown basically.
And it's kind of like if I'm going to get it, I'm going to put it where it is. It needs to work, right? So that's just. So I'm kind of upset that I have to have it where it is, but whether that's something that I'm doing wrong or whether. I mean, if anybody watched this video on YouTube or wherever else it's going to go, and you've got your teleprompter working on more than a 2 meter cable, just send me the model of that 2 meter cable. I'd like to know what it is because I have bought a lot off Amazon and
the American guy's like, yeah, meters, totally, absolutely, yeah, sure.
Well,
totally.
I mean, the cables are lovely that Elgato give you. They are beautiful.
Yeah, they're hardcore. They're great.
Yeah, they're amazing. But I'm having
issues. Is it the same as the Stream Deck Plus one? This is so nice.
It is
all braided and stuff.
It's beautiful. And you've also got a little L-shaped bracket for the teleprompter, so it's got a little kind of goes in and drops at the back, which is really cool. It's something else. It's nice.
It's just so interesting to me. Like I said a minute ago, they did it with teleprompter. They've done it with Stream Deck. I mean, the Stream Deck essentially is a at-home production switcher. I mean, like at its heart. I mean, there's a million things you can do. We talked about all the different things, but like they've made production switchers understandable to home users. They've made now teleprompters understandable to home users. They've made, frankly, audio interfaces and DAWs understandable to home users. They've made high quality microphones that have come in. And so like all these different products that we're talking about, again, there's the cool tech world part of it, but then they're very applicable as tools in a production environment. And I can't tell you how many TV trucks I've walked into, again, how many production rooms, live rooms I've walked into. There's Stream Decks everywhere. I mean, I've been involved in places that they'll have a big production stage with an LED wall for presentation, and everything in the show is programmed for the LED wall into a Stream Deck. And they're just, okay, scene 1, scene 2, here's this, put this slide up, put this video, this fires this fires that. And so they've got their Mac or whatever they're working from that's there, but they're just hotkeying everything right off of the deck. And as that marketplace grows, those opportunities are going to grow. So it's interesting, man. It's really like you ask the question, like, what are they going to come up with? It's like, I don't know, but it's probably going to crush. It's going to crush.
And it's that thing, like I said, sorry, just about on that point, I've got a friend who's got a Dolby Atmos studio here in the UK, and he's one of the very few people you can go to and actually record your sound using Atmos. And he's put one of the Stream Decks in there now because he's watched all my content going, oh my God, and this is cheap. For them guys, this is cheap tech, you know, and they're going,
it's
oh
super
my God,
cheap compared to what we're used to.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking thousands of pounds for, to get something on your desk that you're going to use as part of your production. My God, you're going to pay for it. And then you put this like £200 thing, and suddenly they're like, oh my God, I could do so much for this. Why is this so cheap, you know? And obviously for the rest of us, we're going, Jesus, it's not so much. But for their line of work, this stuff is really, this is 100%. Affordable tech.
100%.
And I love that. Like you said, Elgato's, putting these amazing products in our hands that would normally cost thousands of pounds, and at a production quality, which is just insane. Sorry, Tom, over to you, bud.
No, I don't know what I was going to say now.
I've led him down the garden path and let him go.
That is it,
We'll just watch Tom.
Yeah.
See if you can remember.
You can just watch me. I can't remember. It's
going to go.
Ray said something, and then I was like, but then I completely forgot it now.
That's funny.
I mean, Gaz, what would you get next? Obviously we know your teleprompter's waiting. So let's say the prompter's there. What's next? Because that's pretty much you've got the lot, haven't you? Really,
I've pretty much got everything they bought out except for the prompter.
Right.
I won't mind the HD60X, but the only problem is I've got no USB ports.
We've spoke about this though, haven't we?
Yeah, but can you plug it in?
We spoke about it. You need to buy a powered
take the lights
USB
out as well.
Yeah. Powered hub
change
a lot
a
of
powered hub. That's going to give you 6. Trust me. I don't know anybody's ever run a USB hubs. I'm close, but because I'm stupid, I've got my sim rig over here with about 15 USB devices connected to it. I've got joysticks and pedals and steering wheels and another Stream Deck over there. So I'm just stupid with mine. But most people really shouldn't run out USBs because that powered hub should help you. And you plug a couple of power hubs in really. You need to get on that, buddy.
Well, I did do a noob move. I got like a little power box at the bottom with loads of plugs and stuff, like an extension, but it's like a power tower, right? And it's got USB ports in. I was thinking I can plug it into there, and it wasn't working. I thought
it's not connected to your PC.
Well, there it is.
Oh, bless you. The makeover. So there's nothing that you kind of. I mean, obviously, we're probably not talking about 2024 just yet, but obviously the 2.1 is scheduled next month, or in fact, we're just probably 2 or 3 days away, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's almost February, boys.
Feb,
yeah.
Man, that was a fast January. That was a fast January.
How many days in this month?
31.
Oh, 31.
Thursday's the 1st.
Thursday's the 1st, buddy boy.
Yep.
So So it's very
not-
close.
I mean, at 2.1.
Because you only recently got the new headset, didn't you?
The Virtuoso Pro, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the one. Yeah.
It's the latest one. And honestly, it is really nice. I did have the H50s, I think. I think it's the H50s. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
H something. And then because we was like involved with like the partnership at Elgato, they said Corsair wants to send like a few to the partners. So
nice.
I had the choice of like a black headset or a white headset. And sorry, James.
You went with black? Oh my god!
Okay, James wasn't in your first thought as well.
If I don't like him, we'll definitely buy him.
I got a white shirt. I got a white Elgato shirt. That's the only thing I got white in this setup. But yeah, honestly, these are so good. They're very comfortable. It's like a memory foam as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
they don't sweat or anything.
It is interesting that Corsair crossover with Elgato, isn't it? Obviously, Corsair obviously bought Elgato really early
Yeah.
on, and I think what a move, what a killer move,
Yeah.
because obviously you've got the partners being able to have these. I love it. You know, you guys having to getting hold of the headphones and stuff, because that would be like, you know, we not thought about that, but would Elgato have a pair of headphones? Because we talk about production. You know, I'm wearing some Steel Series right now, but my God, if they were half decent, I'd definitely be tempted if Elgato decided to put the name on a headphone. But would they? Because Corsair
Because Corsair's
doing
already
that.
doing it. Yeah.
So kind of like, would they just take it, rebrand it, or would they add some functionality into it for production value? Which would make sense. And that's a really interesting point, because obviously, like I said, got the whole Corsair arm there to kind of lean against. I find it interesting. If that'd be a thing.
Yeah. I think that would be cool though. I've like RGBs, LEDs in the side with the or would that be tacky?
Well,
They'll have their
Apple-
logo. They'll definitely have their logo, wouldn't they?
It's kind of
Yeah.
that. I always think it's that fine line. Or, you know, when Apple kind of did the white backlit of the Apple
Yeah.
sign, I thought it was just the best thing ever. You know, when they came out, oh my god, it was just like, look at me, this is just like the best thing.
Mhm.
And anything that was multicolored, or I mean, that's probably why I'm white all the way through. Jeez,
Yeah.
because 10 years looking at that lit up sign,
It
was
becomes
just like-
normal. Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like the inspiration. I mean, I used to go to work every day, and you approach the Apple store, and it was this aluminium building with it's just single punch out of an Apple sign.
Yeah.
There was. It wasn't like this is Apple. It was like everybody knew that was that.
Yeah.
And you'd walk in, everything was white surface, light oak tables. And
I
it was
get-
just kind of like
I get
crazy.
picked on because I still have my phone in light mode because that's Apple to me. Like I cannot put dark mode on my phone. And
Yeah.
people just constantly they're like, "You psychopath, you're gonna go blind in the middle of the night." But I'm like, it's just the white.
I don't use dark mode on anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was like, get out of here with your green bubble Android. Like, like
I love that. I love
yeah,
that.
so,
But it's definitely, it's obviously we're all individual. And we all know, like,
Yeah,
but I love that. Like, that was kind of like, I did wonder where I got it from, but that's obviously what it is. It's just that Apple aesthetic of just everything's clean lines, everything's got a
Mhm.
reason. I mean, you probably know that Apple has this thing where they put all the laptops at a certain degree. So when you walk in the Apple store, the idea is that it's not a point that you can see it. So you're forced to physically go up to the actual laptop and lift the screen up. And it's such a clever little trick
Yeah.
because what you're doing is you're touching the technology
and you're falling in love with it.
and you're going, oh my God, suddenly
I
you've
have
got the
to- I have to have
aluminium.
this.
You've
Yeah.
got the coldness of the aluminium. And
Yeah.
then, of course, as you tip it up, you've got the brightness of the screen that kind of hits you. And it's a really cool point. And again, I had this conversation with somebody, Elgato, and I said, do you know what? You guys are ripe for a store now. And they are,
Yeah.
because they could handle a store. They could do sessions. They could do, come and meet a creator sessions.
Yeah.
They've got all the products now really to have a store. If you saw their, I think again it was at the TwitchCon, they had this amazing booth that was set up, and I thought, my God, look at that! It's looking really cool. Like that could be a thing.
Brick and mortar, here we come.
Yeah, I think. I mean, look at Razer. They've done it, right? Razer did
Yeah.
it, and that was interesting. It's a green temple, isn't it? You know, it's bright green temple, but they've done it, and I think Elgato, especially with Corsair,
Yeah.
could fill a store really easily. I mean, I was at our local Currys here in the UK. So we've got this place called Currys, which is basically it's a big sort of, I guess, electronic Best Buy, if you like.
Yeah.
And it was so poor. It was like a few keyboards all spaced out, but somebody been in and jammed all the keys off most of the keys, and
Wow.
the mouse wasn't working, and the headphones felt like they'd been picked up a million times. You didn't want to put them
Yeah.
anywhere near your hair.
Yeah, they're
in case you
filthy.
might- and I went, well, that's the state of where we are in the UK when it comes to electronics. We just don't really have a space that people can go to put hands on these things. And as I said really early on in the podcast, that I think, half of opening these boxes that Elgato sent you, it's an experience, really.
Mhm.
It really is, And I'd never want to take that away from somebody. If I was sending somebody a device, I'd want them to be the first person to open that and,
Yeah.
and experience that and go, isn't that amazing the way they've done it? It's so cool.
The thing is, when I go into Currys, you see like all the Elgato stuff. I go, oh, look at this. And Mum goes, have you got that? Yeah, I got that. You got this? Yeah, I got that. Oh, but you ain't got this. No, I got that. What about
You
this?
didn't tell me you got that,
I
girls.
got that. I got this. And then somebody comes out, do you want any? No, I've got that, mate.
It's just
That's
a
so
carbon
cool.
copy of your room, isn't it?
Yeah.
Come
He's like, you want to come into my bedroom?
That sounds ominous, girls.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does a bit.
Soundbite, anybody?
Clip that. Clip that.
But the
There's
only
a
thing
there's a
is-
button on my deck to do that. So
The only thing is, though, in Currys, all they've got is like one Wave 3,
Mhm.
a capture card, and a camera. That's all they've got to show you.
There's
And they've
nothing
got
in
all
ours.
these things.
yeah,
They've got nothing.
Best Buy down here carries LP arms that
I
you
don't
get
think
the
I've ever
LP.
seen an Elgato product in the shop. No.
I
Yeah,
haven't.
you can get LP arms. You can get the wavelength mic. You can get decks, plus decks. Normally
So interesting.
plus and the standard deck. You can get the mini at Target, but not Best Buy, which is a really random thing. It's like one of the only things. But then Best Buy also has the Keylight Airs and then standard Keylights.
Yeah.
They got
See,
like a
Argos
Best Buy
do
down here's got a
Elgato
nice
stuff.
little setup.
Have you tried out Argos?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Catalog store
Oh,
in
it's
the
like,
UK.
yeah, like a catalog
Mm-mm.
store.
Mhm.
Like
No,
a K's. No.
no.
Case. Case
Case.
catalog. Oh no.
That's years old.
This is some sort of rabbit hole we're going down. Let's just rewind.
The only
that.
reason I even said Best Buy because I heard James say it about 20 minutes ago. I was like, well, they know what Best Buy is. I'll say Best Buy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We know that. We know that.
But yeah, the Argos do them, but they've only got like the Wave 3 green screen, the Cam Link.
Wow. Okay.
What else have they got? Keylight Air.
Yeah.
And the
Has-
capture card.
Have any of you guys seen the new key lights? These that are lit up better and they not so blinding like these ones I've got here. Has any of
Not
you
the new
guys seen
ones.
those yet?
I don't know, but
The new one.
I think that the airs are fantastic.
Yeah, I'm running 2 airs right now.
I'm running two airs in front of me right now. And again, as
Yeah.
someone that's been around production lighting, the control that you have with them, the brightness for as small as they are, that you can do, the portability of them. I mean, they're very usable, user friendly. And so, I was wondering, I was noticing the blue hue behind your
That's like,
behind your little shelving unit back there, James. And I thought, I wonder if one of the next Elgato things is going to be if they do their own nano leafs. Like if they do some RGB stuff, that would be controlled in their system.
Yeah, I mean, thing is, I mean, obviously, I've done Govee and I've done Elgato with their LED light strip, and and then when I remodeled the office, let's say end of last year, I decided to go all nano leaf. So everything in here is nano leaf now, just because Siri integration.
Yeah.
And it's just easy to have one control panel.
Yeah, but could you imagine an Elgato styled nano leaf with native deck support with plus that I could just roll my knob through my colors? That would be incredible.
Do you know what? It would make sense this year to be completely like, yeah, we're gonna try a hand at that. And actually, I didn't think about, because I tell you what, I know Gaz has got the LED light strip around his panels. I didn't have much joy with mine. And I just felt that the control wasn't great. It was a bit flimsy, and it didn't work. A lot of time for me, mine didn't actually work, and that was kind of me when I was looking back at when I first built the office to where I am now. It's kind of like they don't have enough in their catalog for me to do it, which is why I went to Nanleaf in the end. And as you know, God, expensive when we start talking their sort of prices.
Super expensive.
Yes, yeah, they're really expensive. And I think so to go down that rabbit hole, but then you honestly you hold their LED strip next to Elgato's, and it was night and day. The thickness, the brightness, the color balance was so. Not to bag on about Elgato not being great at it, but I think it's definitely a product for them that they tried and to see how us guys felt about it and pushed it out. But it felt very much like a 1.0 product when I had it. Initially I thought it was great, it worked, and covered my whole sort of back panel on it, and it was great. And then suddenly I was finding disconnections, and again, it could have been my problem thing, but I wasn't sold really. I really wasn't sold on it. But I think you're right. Maybe that could be a thing we might see this year.
Panels like that, yeah.
100%.
That'd be good. Haven't you ever thought about using the light strip around the white panels though?
Say what?
Have you ever thought about using the light strips around your white panels? Just use the white light.
I know it's really, really kind of. When you come to my house, you'll see it. Sorry, when you come to my office, you realise I've got more lights than I need. The last thing I need is to start putting lights around this. I just don't need to. These are all under 25% brightness, right?
Yeah.
If I put these on, seriously, it's like a church. I'm like, it's like a
lighthouse.
aura.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah, my electric ball just went like
Oh, but it's all LED. You're fine.
that. Yeah. So this is why I have them at 25%. And I had a work experience lad with me here all last week. So he was working in the office with me all last week, and he was sitting there. And when he first came, he's just like, "Oh my god, this is incredible!" And I was like, "Yeah." And then of course, once he sat down and we started working together, it's kind of like, these are too bright. It's like, I know. So we dropped it to 25%, which I find a really nice. It's a nice calming light now. And
Yeah, but I love how much headroom you have. Like I said, I'm on Keylight Airs. Mine are at 13 and 14% right now.
yeah, it's crazy, right?
I mean, if I push these things,
yeah, I mean, I saw Gaz. Gaz has got the big, what I call the.
I got the spotlight, the floodlight.
yeah,
He's got the floodlight. It's like
normal Keylight.
if you're gonna pull a Mercedes in here, do an advert for Mercedes, those are the ones you're gonna have because they are like massive. And I said to him, "You must just be blinded, like it's like the sun coming out." Crazy.
He's always got glasses, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. They are A, they're big, and B, they're bright, right? Which is like you said, the airs for me made perfect sense. Like, it's a no-brainer. They're just so good. But obviously, they've got the new ones now with these side LED lit ones. But I've not seen them. This is the thing that I really feel that if they had a store that you could go to actually touch them and talk to people who knew about them, my God, that'd be so good. That's my Apple Store 2.0, isn't it? That's kind of like
the Elgato store.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like if you sat down, you can actually position them as well and see what you look like.
Yeah, and do you know what? That's that thing that Ray was saying. It's putting the word teleprompter into normal people's mouths and going, what does that actually look like? And I'm sure at TwitchCon when they set up all their store, that a lot of people just like, whoa, this is like next level stuff, Because as you said, I'm talking to you guys. I'm not spending any time looking over here. I'm talking to you guys, and that's such a big deal to content creators. It's such 100%. A big deal. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm a production guy, and I never thought about using a teleprompter for this kind of stuff. I mean, because again, it's you think about that in TV studio, and to make those real life big boy production elements accessible at home, it's game changing.
Yeah,
the fact they've got the link that you can put your camera with it as well.
Yeah,
you haven't just gone. Here's a teleprompter
with a camera built in. You can use whatever camera you want.
Yeah, exactly.
I
made it more productive for you.
The sleeve that it came with was phenomenal, and I mean that the rings for the SLRs.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen an unboxing of the teleprompter.
Yeah, 100%.
But when you pull that out, you're like, oh my God, they've thought of everything. It reminded me when Apple released the first iPod. You got a remote control, you got a desktop charger, you got a desktop stand. The box was this big. You got a plug. And all those things have been whittled down to you just get the phone now. And Elgato, when I first opened the teleprompter, I was generally like, this is like when the iPod was out. I've got everything I need here. Obviously, that's the camera, but I've got everything I need here, and it's kind of catered to anything that I might want to bring in later on as well. But those O-rings, I mean, they're all metal as well.
Yeah.
They're all beautifully done. So yeah, they've kind of catered for everybody. I just feel a bit bad about not using them because there's so much of it that you kind of go, I've got a Facecam Pro. I'm never gonna use any of this. It feels like a tragedy that I'm putting it in the drawer and it'll probably never see the light of day again.
Well, for me, like I'm a photographer. Like I said, photographer and videographer by trade. So I use DSLRs. I use Sony equipment for everything. And when they announced the prompter, my initial thought was, oh man, it stinks that I don't use the face cam because I won't be able to use it. And then the first unboxing where I saw that they thought about it for me, I was like, yes, I can use it. I can use it. I can use it. Because again, like you look at the Apple mindset, everything's proprietary. If it's not Apple, you can't use it. So the fact that Elgato is being considerate of people, because legitimately, like I've got an older Sony body that I'm using right now, but still at the time it was a $2,500 camera, and I've got $1,000 piece of glass on it. The last thing in the world that I want to do as a camera, as a guy that's using equipment that I already have, is to go buy a $400 camera when I've already got $1,200 to $1,500 invested in a bag that's sitting. You understand what I'm saying? Like you got all this money that's sitting here. It's like, well, why can't I use that kind of quality? And Elgato said, you know what? You can. Here you go. Here's an adapter. Go for it. Love that. Love it.
It's very thoughtful, isn't it? It's very thoughtful for their customer base, I think. I mean, like I said, I had the face cam and really felt like, no, I need the Facecam Pro for this to work brilliantly. But that's just me being stubborn. It's kind of like, yes, of course, it would have worked with everything else. Like I said, what a piece of kit. And I guess we're all probably, champion it. It probably was. It probably was the product of the year for 2023, wasn't it?
It's. I mean, again, just the opportunity to change people's mindsets and understand production equipment. I mean, I'm a dad. I got 2 kids, right? I got a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old. And my 11-year-old is constantly coming to me and being like, hey, look what I just clipped. I mean, he's got a Stream Deck Mini up in his room. And he'll be like, come check out this clip. And then he's like, look, I edited this video. Wow. And I haven't taught him any of it. He's just, the tools are in his hand. And so I think about these things, about my son being able to understand what a teleprompter is and the importance of lighting and cameras and production switchers and all these things. I mean, an 11-year-old kid with a production switcher on his desk right now. The opportunities that will be afforded to him in his 20s will be completely different than what mine were. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know what that takes me back? 2 years ago, I had a conversation with this guy from Elgato, and he said exactly what you just kind of echoed there. He says, we want to bring that kind of whole creator thing to everybody. Yep. We don't want people to try and think how to take chroma the green screen out. We don't want people to think about it. We don't want people to think we don't want people to have to think about, I want my name to appear at the bottom of the screen and can it slide in and slide out? Or we want people to basically come to us and software wise and hardware wise fulfill all those gaps because people just might be great at talking to a camera. And they have the techno know-how of chroma key in a green screen or putting the titles or even an intro screen. Can we be that company that supply all that? And that was a conversation I had 2 years ago. And you can see now they're doing it, right? We're there. And again, they're going on about the marketplace store, but 100% that's their idea that kids can come in and actually, I don't got to employ somebody from Fiverr.com or have their best mate do it. I could just click on that and type my name in and it's going to appear at the bottom screen.
My 11-year-old, it was last year when he turned 10, he literally said, Dad, I want one of those deck things that you have on your desk. I want one for my birthday. And I'm thinking, what you want for your birthday? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but he did.
Love it.
I
love it. And that's the generation they said we're getting to that. I mean, you're right. It's just a dream come true.
Yeah.
I think what Apple did for sort of video editing, having iMovie on every Mac that you bought, and that you could edit a clip really quickly. I was running sort of the summer camps for Apple. So we'd have like 20 kids every day for nearly 6 weeks, coming to the App Store on their holidays. And
Wow.
they spend time with us, and they get a free Apple T-shirt and a lanyard, and we teach them how to use iMovie, and they cut a little clip, and they go home with their phones and take them up and bring it back to the Apple Store the next day. And it's kind of like a 3-day camp, but it was so good. And Apple really had that hindsight of kids using their technology really early on. And
Yeah.
actually just couldn't wait to
changing
show
stuff.
off.
Changing stuff, man.
It really is. And like I said, Elgato are there. They're there with all these products. And it's really, really interesting where we are with it. For sure.
Right. I think we're going to wrap it up because I need a drink. I need a drink.
Not sponsored
Vimto.
by Vimto.
I need a coffee.
Was that what you meant? I thought you meant something stronger.
No, I don't drink. I don't
Neither
drink.
do I. Good lad. Neither do I.
Don't drink. Well,
don't need to do it.
I like Guinness, but with Coke.
That's insane.
I do. It's like a shandy.
Yeah. You don't drink, do you? Let's put it down to that. You just don't drink.
I don't drink, but I do like the odd Guinness and Coke.
Is it more the other way around? Just Coke with a little bit of Guinness rather than Guinness with.
Sounds
Half
like
and
it.
half.
Is there ice cubes involved, Gaz?
No.
I bet there is.
Only with Baileys.
Ice cubes and Guinness. Oh my god. Okay.
He hit me with the Baileys. I'm ready to go to Old Greg, man. He just hit me with it. That was great.
And on that bombshell.
Reg just said A to Z of Elgato.
Whew.
Hey, well, guys, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you to Tom, Ray, and also James and his lovely wave panels.
Didn't even get to talk about wave panels. I'm
So
sad.
jealous.
They look so cool, don't they?
They are, mate, they're beautiful. I'm just so in love with them, honestly. And I never thought I would be. I mean, I could do a podcast just about that. It's just like seriously good. It's that
You sent me
good.
the picture
I don't
before
know.
you put the panels on as well. They look so easy to put on as well.
Oh, mate, yeah, I mean, Gaz told me how easy it was to build it, but I kind of didn't believe him really. I thought, he's just, oh my god, I did it in like 15 minutes. Seriously, 15 minutes, it was up. And I went, no way, just incredible. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk about that on another podcast.
Yeah.
Next time.
Next
Are you up for
time.
joining again, Ray?
Cliffhanger.
Tom?
Yeah.
So what'd you say, guys?
Are you up for joining again next time,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I love these.
Ray?
I'm in. You tell me when.
Yeah.
I got this.
Come on then. All right then.
Let's do
Nice
it.
one. Right, everybody, thank you again. You're all absolute legends. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today on the podcast. You're all absolute legends as well. And yeah, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. Go and check out all the channels. We've got TS Villa. We've got This is the Ray Gaming. And we've got Icon City. James.
And
Thanks,
it's a gaming, of course. Thank you, Gaz. Good work, mate.
But yeah,
Thank you, guys.
Always good. Thank you, buddy.
no worries. Thank
Take
you again,
care.
everybody. Bye, bye.